Have you been wanting to improve at ranked? Are you looking for operators that can give you an edge on your opponents? Well, you've come to the right place. If you start playing the operators I mentioned in this video, I guarantee you'll start winning more of your ranked games. So here's my list of the 8 best attackers in Rainbow Six Siege. Starting out the video in the number 8 spot, we have Buck. Buck is one of those operators that can really just do it all. He is a master of vertical play, he can help his team deal with utility, and his loadout makes him an absolute gunfight machine. Another huge plus of Buck is that he is extremely beginner friendly. His shotgun is pretty straightforward, you just toggle it on and use it to open soft surfaces or to deal damage to opponents. This simplicity and lack of team coordination required to use his gadget also makes him extremely good for solo queue. Realistically, I don't think you can really ever go wrong when picking Buck. In 99% of rounds you pick him, you will likely get some sort of utility out of him. Now, in the number 7 spot, we have Thatcher. A lot of you may be surprised by him being this low, but honestly, with the addition of EMP impacts, I feel as though I find myself needing Thatcher less and less. Don't get me wrong, EMPs that can disable any electronic gadget will always be strong, but I just think Thatcher has fallen out of the number 1 spot he held for so long. His guns are still solid, those being the L85 and the AR-33, and his secondary gadgets are still the same. So he is realistically the same operator. It's just the game around him has changed so much that I just don't think he belongs anywhere higher than the number 7 spot. Next up in the number 6 spot, we have Nook. Nook is definitely an interesting operator to say the least. She has had a long history of being considered too niche. But I think nowadays, especially with the meta we are in, Nook has become extremely powerful. She is still niche, don't get me wrong, but at her best, she is honestly the strongest operator in this game. Her gadget allows her to make plays on even high-ranked teams. All you have to do is find a part of the map that doesn't have any traps placed around, and you're pretty much guaranteed 1 kill. Especially since her gun is the FMG9 with the 1.5, which is one of the best SMGs in the game. But on top of this, she can use her gadget to sneak under the bomb site and use her nades to kill people from below. On top of this, one thing I don't see people talking about much is her ability to mess with the defense's head. Whenever you pick Nook in a game, from that point forward, the defenders will have to worry about you picking her again. So they won't be able to trust their own intel without second guessing themselves. Even though Nook may be a selfish pick due to her whole loadout being around making plays, if you just pick her a couple of times a game, she can win you a lot of rounds. Moving on to the number 5 spot is Capitao. I've always said that Capitao is an extremely strong operator, and I stand by that. He just has way too much at his disposal right now. Both of his weapons are amazing. The M249 is one of the only LMGs that is viable nowadays, and the Pero 308 deals stupidly high damage. Then on top of that, he comes with the Gon 6 as a secondary option, meaning that he can destroy hard utility, and he has access to hard breaching charges that can help your team get reinforced surfaces open. So his loadout already allows him to do a tremendous amount, but his gadget gives him an even crazier amount of utility. His crossbow can shoot firebolts to force defenders out of power positions and to stop defenders from rotating. These firebolts combined with the smoke bolts in his crossbow allow him to be a beast for getting a plant down. I talk about all of this in my top 5 most underrated operators video from a while back, but I think people really do sleep on Capitao. In almost every tier list you see, and in every pick rate chart, Capitao rarely makes it very high. It's very weird to me because he brings so much to the table and he realistically has no downsides. I guess this must just be down to people not finding him fun. Next up in the number 4 spot, we have Sledge. Sledge is just the definition of a beginner-friendly operator. He has easy to control and strong guns, an easy to learn gadget, and access to extremely strong secondary gadgets. He pretty much has it all. But don't get it twisted, just because he is easy to learn doesn't mean he isn't strong. Sledge is arguably the best vertical play operator in Siege. His sledgehammer has nearly infinite uses, his nades can allow him to pick up free kills or destroy utility, and the 1.5 available on his low recoil ARs allows him to hit shots much easier through tight vert holes. Now, the only thing stopping him from making it higher in this tier list is his 3 armor rating. Sledge being a 3 armor makes him produce a lot more sound, meaning that defenders will have an easier time killing him with a nitro through the floor. It also makes him extremely slow when trying to rotate around the map. But these downsides really don't do much to hurt him in total, and since he is one of only 4 operators that currently has access to nades, and arguably the best operator, I think 4th place is a fair placement. Moving past Sledge in 4th place, we have Ace in the 3rd place. This is another placement that you guys will likely not be surprised by. Ace is by far the best hard breacher in this game, hands down. His Selma charges are able to open reinforcements from a distance, which gives him added safety, and due to their ability to be deployed fast, they can actually counter most bandit triggers. On top of the fact that he has the best hard breach gadget in the game, he also has one of the best ARs in Siege, the AK-12. This thing is an absolute powerhouse. It has low recoil, solid damage, a good capacity, decent fire rate, and a 1.5 sight available. What more could you ask for in a hard breacher, honestly? The only thing holding him back from being any higher is his gadget isn't as strong as the next two operators in this video, and he doesn't really have great secondary gadgets at his disposal. Moving on to the second spot of the video, we have Doki. If you are higher than plat, then you won't be surprised by this placement whatsoever. Doki has been creeping into the meta over the past couple of seasons, and she is in one of the strongest states she has ever been in. She has EMP impacts now, which allows her to help her team get walls open. This is definitely a big reason why she belongs in the top 5, but the biggest reason is the recent buffs Ubisoft gave to her gadget. The biggest one being that her calls now interrupt dead defenders' cameras as well. Before Operation Brutal Swarm, defenders in support mode could still use the team's cameras even if a logic bomb was active. Obviously, this is a massive change. Being able to reveal the location to defenders and deny all camera access from the defenders with a click of a button is ridiculous. It allows her to clear out roamers easily with the help of her team, and she can use her gadget to poke holes in the defender's intel, allowing for plays to be made off of that. Then on top of it all, if she kills a defender, she can use the phone they drop to hack into the defender's cameras and use them against them. But I'm sure after hearing all of that, you're wondering, why is her pick rate so low then? Well, that's where her one downside comes in. Unfortunately, Doki doesn't have any automatic primary weapons, meaning that her loadout is extremely underwhelming at best. This makes it hard for Doki to get use out of her Gon 6 because she has to run a machine pistol instead. But it also makes people less likely to pick her due to her loadout not being the best. In today's meta, a good gun is extremely important. So when people see an operator that doesn't have great weapon choices, people just write them off. However, I think all the other aspects of Doki are single-handedly able to carry her to the number 2 spot. When picking Doki, you are playing a support role. Good guns aren't really required or meant to be on someone with this much utility. And if she had access to good guns, she'd likely be the most overpowered operator to ever exist. Okay, well, it is now time to talk about the best operator in Rainbow Six Siege. And I think that award belongs to the one and only Iana. She is likely the most loved operator in this game, hands down. Iana has one of the strongest gadgets in the game, that being her Gemini replicator, which basically gives her infinite drones for the whole round. This is a strong ability for obvious reasons. As I've said many times in videos before, droning is one of the most important aspects of any attacking round, and your skill at droning can directly lose or win you rounds. So being able to drone a room as many times as you want can provide you with round-winning intel. On top of this, Iana has nades and one of the most popular guns in the game right now, the G36C with the 1.5. As I've said before in previous videos, anyone with nades right now is meta. And since she has literally anything you could possibly want from an operator, it makes her a really strong choice in pretty much any round. So not only is she the best fragger in the game, but I think she is the best attacker in the game overall. Anyways, that about wraps up today's video. Let me know if you guys agree or disagree with this list in the comments down below. I'd love to hear your opinion. If you enjoyed today's video, I make Siege content just like this twice a week, so go subscribe to the channel and follow me on Twitter if you don't want to miss the next upload. If you want to see more of me, go follow me on Twitch because I'll be going live on stream 2 hours after this video goes up, and you won't want to miss it. If you want to watch another video just like this one, a video will be popping up on your screen right now where I talk about the best operators for solo queue in Rainbow Six Siege. I'll see you next time, friends, and peace.